am just a normal mom. I need some help. This is just a brainstorming video. I feel like I'm really starting to learn myself as a homeschool mom. So good, you guys. I am drinking, I guess you would call it a protein coffee, Fairlife protein drinks that taste like chocolate milk, like straight up chocolate milk. And then I made 2 espresso shots in my Nespresso, mixed it together. Life-changing. It's so delicious and filling and gives me the energy that I need to take care of my kids all day. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am so excited about today's video because we are talking about curriculum planning for the 2025-2026 school year. Wow, that sounds crazy, like we're in the future or something. Like, is that even right? Like, I'm doubting myself. 2025, 2026, yeah, that's right. So I love planning out curriculum. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love researching ideas for my homeschool, for my kids. I absolutely love homeschooling my kids. So this is a very exciting video for me to make. It is crazy to me to think that, like, you know, it's time to plan for the next school year, but you know what? It's better to get ahead than be behind, right? So anyway, hello, if you're new here, my name is Madison. I have 4 kids, ages 16, 8, 5, and 3. They all homeschool, and in this next year, I will have basically all 4 of my kids doing school because my daughter will be turning 4 and like officially doing preschool. She's already been doing some stuff because she's a 4th kid homeschooler, so of course she is. She wants to do it because she sees her siblings do it, but it'll be like official. So it's gonna be a crazy homeschool year, and I have like another crazy idea for the year, so it might be a very unique year for us. So anyway, let's just get into my plans, or this is my brainstorming. So this is not like set in stone. This is not like a curriculum video, like this is what I'm doing for this kid and that kid. This is just like my ideas and my thoughts, and I would love it if you guys would comment down below your thoughts on what I am sharing here. Just so that, you know, you guys can maybe give me some ideas or just say what you think about it, because this is just a brainstorming video. Okay, so the first thing that I want to mention and just get out of the way right away in this video, because I'm so excited about it and nervous at the same time. So my first like exciting kind of announcement, first time talking about this on my channel, is I am considering joining Classical Conversations for this next school year. I honestly never thought we would do this, never. But I will say, in all my videos I have made recently about like curriculum changes and, you know, just trying out different things, I feel like I'm really starting to learn myself as a homeschool mom, and my family and my kids and how they learn, and just what we want out of homeschooling. And I think that's hard to know before you actually start homeschooling. Like, if you're a new homeschooler, it may take you a few years to figure out what your style is, which way your kids learn best, and just like how your home operates best with homeschooling, because there are tons of different philosophies and tons of different curriculum out there. We really are blessed with all the opportunities for homeschoolers these days, but you know, it takes some time to figure it out. So I do feel this year has been like a transition year for me, where I have been really looking into different styles of learning and different curriculum and just really trying to find myself. And I think it's been super helpful. It's definitely been kind of expensive because I have switched curriculum a few times and it's not cheap. Going forward, I want to be more careful with what I purchase. I want to stick with things just for financial reasons a little bit longer, but I do think it was just kind of a necessary evil to try things out this past year. So anyway, I say all of that because I think with all of my exploration this year, I have somehow found myself leaning towards trying Classical Conversations. So you may not know what it is. I'll tell you in a second. what it is. I'll just give like a brief overview in case I'm not going to go on and on about it because this is not a Classical Conversations video, but this is my brainstorming and my ideas and why we might try it and all of that. So, how did I even come to this conclusion? Well, first of all, I will say, speaking of like my style of homeschooling and everything, years ago, I had a dear friend, like I'm talking many years ago, and it's almost a regret that I didn't listen to her, but such is life, and it, you know, it is what it is. But many years ago, I had a dear friend who goes to our church and is a family friend of my husband's that he's known since he was a kid. She told me about Classical Conversations. She said they were doing it. She gave me like this big long explanation about it, was like showing me all these things, pulling it up on her phone, all of that. And I was just like, no, like I would not even entertain the idea of doing Classical Conversations. Why? Because I was homeschooling for, one of my reasons was for the freedom. To be able to spend time with my kids, do what we want, explore things, read books, learn in a way that we want. And I felt that Classical Conversations was a little too structured and would put us in too much of a box. And that's why we're not doing public school, because we don't want to be in a box and we just want to be home doing schooling. So that was why I wouldn't even like entertain the idea. I also did not know yet what my homeschooling philosophy was or what kind of things I wanted my kids to learn in my homeschool. Now that I have figured some of that out, I'm interested in Classical Conversations again. So, you know, I totally shut her out at that time. Like I appreciated her sharing all that with me, but I was like, no, we're not doing Classical Conversations. Well, and then many years have passed. I'm talking probably like 5 to 7 years have passed since then. As I have been trying out different curriculum, we have done Sunlight, which I love Sunlight. I've looked into Charlotte Mason style, which I do think is a little bit different than classical learning, but I think they have some similarities. And what I've started to figure out is I would love for my kids to be able to learn about artists. Well, okay, so Sunlight has the history, it has the Bible, it has the literature, it has learning through books, which I love, but it doesn't have like a composer study, like studying different composers. It doesn't have an art study. It just doesn't, it has a history timeline, but there might be a song. Honestly, we haven't started the timeline yet, which is part of another reason why I might want to do Classical Conversations. So basically, in Classical Conversations, what I've learned so far is that when you start in foundations, which my kids are younger, my oldest won't be doing this, he's 16, like he's gonna be going to college soon, but with my young ones, they would start in foundations and they would be doing, they do like each year, they do a little bit of composer study, like they study certain composers, a little bit of artist study, they do art projects, they learn about how to draw, which I am not an artist, but my son Jack, he is so artistic, like he always has been, and I feel like I can't help him enough with it because I am not, like I'm like anti-art, like not by choice, like I'm terrible at it and I struggle with it hard. And so I love the idea of each week they would be like working on some kind of art project, and they would be learning how to draw and all of that, and I don't have to do that, and I don't have to like try to seek out some type of like art lessons or something. It would just be in our schooling once a week. Community day, which is something that you do. I'm struggling to explain this because I don't want to go too far into Classical Conversations, so I don't want to make this whole video about that. But anyway, you would basically you would go once a week on community day. And another thing I learned through homeschooling, and that's my point in sharing this with you guys, is you're going to learn as you go along what you like about homeschooling, like what fits your style. We do chess club once a week. It's for an hour and a half, and you have to stay. Like if you have like a kid like under 10 years old, you're supposed to stay. So in being forced to stay, I have made friends with a lot of the chess moms there and have this like community there. My kids have a community there. We all are like-minded in loving chess and being homeschoolers. And it's been a really great experience. And so I thought, oh, well, community day at Classical Conversations is once a week. When they're in foundations, you go for like 3 hours. You're supposed to stay there in the class. So you are still very much the teacher of your kids. You're there to learn so that you can teach your kids this stuff the rest of the week. They're from these tutors that run the classes. So I like that because I am homeschooling so that I can teach my kids. I don't want them to be like in a school. And those are actually options. My oldest actually did a school that was like, it was kind of like college hours where you go twice a week and then you do the rest of your work at home. And that very much felt like I didn't go with him. He had his own teacher. So that very much felt like he had a different teacher and I was just making sure he did his homework, like typical schooling. But this Classical Conversations, you go and you listen and you help the tutor and you are the teacher. So I like that about it as well. I like the community idea, which we are going to go hopefully this upcoming Monday, and we're going to go just watch Community Day, just see what it's like. That friend that showed it to me, she is now very involved in Classical Conversations, and she will be helping run the place. And so I like that because she's a strong Christian. She's a hard worker. She's a really kind, good person. And so I like that that's the kind of people that are running this place. So that was another thing that made me think about trying it. But I really like the community aspect and me being there with my kids. So I'm still very much involved in their schooling and with them. But having that support of teaching art, or they do science experiments once a week. I do not like doing science experiments with my kids at home by myself. It's just stressful to me with all my little kids. I don't enjoy doing it. I think I would enjoy it though at Community Day where there's a tutor kind of running it and I'm just helping. I think that it would actually get done. There would be some structure, we would actually do a science experiment once a week, whereas at home we're probably almost never gonna do it. So I really like that too. I feel like it will give me some accountability. So that's another thing with my curriculum brainstorming for this next year. I'm trying to find things that keep me organized and accountable, because I've realized I am not a very organized person. And, as homeschoolers, we like our freedom, which is good, but I think I am a little too free-spirited and could use a little bit of accountability. Probably all of us as humans could use a little bit of accountability. Some of us have more self-discipline than others though, but yeah. So for those reasons, accountability, I like, they do music theory, which obviously you see the baby grand piano behind me. I love music. My mom was a piano teacher. My kids take piano and voice lessons. I'm very into music, and they play this flute or something like that. And it's really just to learn music theory. It's not to learn how to play the instrument. It's to learn music theory. And the positives of music theory is it really helps your brain when it comes to math and other parts of school. So there's just a benefit to music theory beyond just playing an instrument, which I also love playing instruments. I think it's beautiful and therapeutic and a way to give back to the world by being able to play this beautiful music or sing or whatever. So anyway, I just feel like Classical Conversations really aligns in so many ways with my homeschooling philosophy. Oh, and the memorization. They memorize these songs when that's at least in foundations and they're young. My kids love memorization, especially my two oldest, which Carter won't be doing this because he's too old, but my 8-year-old, he does Awanas where they memorize Bible verses. He memorizes them super quickly. He loves memorization, and I am that way. That's how I learn. So maybe they got some of my genetics, or maybe everyone's that way. I don't know. But definitely for our family, we really thrive with memorization. And there's so many parts of grammar and math and history that are just, you do need to just memorize certain things. You do need to just know your math facts. You do need to just know certain grammar rules. There are things that will really, it helps. It helps a lot as you get higher and higher level in these things. So I also struggle with grammar. And so I feel like someone helping me teach my kids about grammar will just give me some confidence. And so, yeah, I talked forever about that, but that's that's my brainstorming. That's what's going on in my brain for this next school year. I'm really excited about it. I'm trying to get a couple of my friends, like my favorite friends, my best friend, like my best friend in the whole world, Chelsea, if you're watching this, she is like just the best. So anyway, trying to get her to do it because we are best friends and our kids are best friends and it would just be so fun. So, and then we have another friend that we really like that, she seems interested. So if I join, it would be kind of funny if I just like bring this posse with me of all my favorite friends and everything. So I'm really excited about it. So fingers crossed that when we go visit community day, it's fun. Another thing is it costs money, but we do other things and pay for other things. So I do feel like we could cut back on other extra things we pay for. And then also it's like a lot of your curriculum is through this. And so if you think about, okay, I'll be buying less curriculum because I'm doing this, you know. So anyway, very excited about that. I feel like it's just in line with my homeschooling philosophy. Next, for this brainstorming, I feel like I talked so long about that, but that's what I'm most excited about. Please comment down below if you've done classical conversations and what you think of it. Please, please, please. So I need to drink this before my ice all melts and it doesn't taste as good. Next, as far as, so when you do classical conversations, you still need like language arts and math, at least in the younger years. So for language arts, guys, so you know I've tried out so many different things this year and have switched around a lot. I'm gonna make a whole video about it, but I really am leaning towards just sticking with the good and the beautiful. Now, no curriculum's perfect, okay? And that's why I like to use multiple resources because there is just never going to be a perfect curriculum. Nothing in this world is perfect. But of everything I tried, I feel like it's just, I love how it's all in one, but I think it's deep enough. I need to do a whole video about it, but so I'm not gonna go too far into like why, but that is what I'm seriously considering for language arts for all of my young kids. My oldest does online stuff, so he'll stick with that. But for my little ones, I think that especially since I will be having a preschooler, like a full-on preschooler joining us, I need more help. And the good and the beautiful, 100% compared to like All About Reading and Logic of English is much less teacher intensive. It helps you. There are so many things that my son can just do on his own, which has been so nice as we've been getting back to using the good and the beautiful. So I think that's really what I'm leaning towards. We've already been using the 3rd grade curriculum with my 8-year-old who's in 2nd grade. And so we'll just continue that for sure. Like we're definitely going to continue that into the next school year. But yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We'll see. But that's really what I'm leaning towards for the school year. And then as far as math, I am not 100% on math. So I'm going to do a whole video on math with confidence versus the good and the beautiful math and just my ideas of math. I've used Math UC. I've used a lot of different math curriculums. Oh, I definitely will be sticking with spelling UC, by the way. I love spelling UC. So, and I want to do a whole video on that. So we'll definitely be taking that into the new school year. So I really believe in like that, the philosophy of the copy work and all of that spelling UC uses. So anyway, math, I'm up in the air right now. I actually bought some math curriculum for this year because I'm crazy, but I'm still trying some things out. I'm leaning towards one math curriculum, which I will talk about in my math video, but I have not fully decided. I will say I'm deciding probably between Math UC and the Good and the Beautiful, although I do, or not Math UC, Math with Confidence and the Good and the Beautiful. Although I do like Math UC, it's just a little bit boring, honestly. It kind of like sucks the joy out. It's just like black and white basic. And I noticed some moms talk about on here that they like that. Their kid just wants to like have their math and just do it and be done. That's just not my style. I think that's so boring. Okay, so I forgot to mention Beast Academy. So I want to quickly mention that we did try Beast Academy. Oh, Charlie, shh. We did try Beast Academy a little bit this year and I did like it. I got a level below my son's level and I think that was a little too easy for him. And I just didn't find the time. Sorry, my daughter is so loud. I just didn't find the time to like fit it in.
But I've seen some moms say that they will, like, based off of the units, like they'll do one unit of one curriculum and then they'll stop that curriculum and do another unit of a different curriculum. So I am considering that as a possibility to be able to fit Beast Academy in.
So I think Math-U-See can be like a great supplement. Like I have some of their workbooks, so I'm just going to, you know, use them for like a little bit of a supplement. But yeah, I am like, I'm gonna make a whole video on math. I've done a lot of experimentation this year with language arts. And math, I thought I was happy with Math with Confidence and was just kind of sticking with that, but then I've been kind of, not so sure. So I'll make a whole video about that, but that's kind of my thoughts on math. Math is something I like about Classical Conversations is they have them work on their math facts. I think all the way up to like multiplication of 15 or something I heard. So I like that because you need to know those math facts. Like it is so important to have those facts down. So I really like that Classical Conversations would be like reinforcing that because that's just like a firm belief I have when it comes to math. I've taken calculus 1, 2, and 3. Like I know what it's like to take upper level math, and you need to just have your multiplication just boom like it's second nature in your head. So that's that. And then when it comes to like history, Bible, and literature, if we do Classical Conversations, we will be doing history through them, I think. They like memorize the history timeline, which I think will be really cool because I remember nothing of history from when I was a kid. So I really like this outside of the box thinking. So history, I think, will be mostly through Classical Conversations, but I'm not giving up Sunlight. There is no way. When I have found a curriculum that I love, I've decided I'm sticking with it. So we are definitely going to continue with Sunlight. We started it like midway through the year, so we're not going to be done, I don't think, by the summer. So we'll probably just continue with the American history that we're doing through Sunlight. We'll see how it goes with Classical Conversations. I might want to switch to a different year of Sunlight. I don't know, but I love all of their books. I love their literature so much. We will be continuing for sure with their readers that they suggest. Henry's been doing their 3rd grade readers, so I will definitely have my kindergartner start doing their readers, and he'll be going into 1st grade. He'll do their readers, and I will have Henry like for forever, just as a way to practice reading with really good solid literature. We will definitely be staying with them. So Sunlight is something that we will not leave behind, even if we're doing something like Classical Conversations. It will just be like our literature and all of that. Now, as I learn more about that, and if I really like it and really buy into it, who knows what will happen. But for now, like, I just really can't see us ever leaving Sunlight. It's something too that once you buy it, you know, you have the books and you can reuse them with your kids and all of that. And we're definitely going to continue with our read alouds and everything. So it's just a really nice like compilation of books to read. Even if we just follow like the reading, it really keeps me accountable with how much reading we're doing because it tells you like how many pages or chapters to read each week. So that's another thing I've noticed I need accountability. Oh, and I don't want to forget too why I might use The Good and the Beautiful is because it's super organized, and I think I need that. Speaking of just like learning yourself and homeschooling, I am someone that needs some organization, especially when it comes to language arts because I'm not that strong in grammar. That's something I do struggle with. And so having just that organization and the answer, like they give you a solutions manual and everything, or you can buy it. It fits me and what I need. And I just have realized that's as a mom, especially since I have a bunch of kiddos and it's hard enough for me balancing everything I need to do in my life. I need a curriculum that's pretty organized and helps keep, like, instead of having to do, you know, this for grammar and this for writing and blah, blah. Like you've seen people when they talk about The Good and the Beautiful, how great it is that you don't have to do all those different things. You just do one. I agree. I've realized for me, now you may be totally different. You may be extremely talented and gifted in writing and grammar, and it may make sense to you to do multiple things. But for me, I am just a normal mom I need some help. I'm a type B personality. I need some help with organization, all that. Something I've learned about myself. And the most important thing is that we get it done. So there's that. But yeah, so I also really like the Bibles that Sunlight gives you, because it's just like each year it's just a little bit more of a complex children's Bible, and we have enjoyed reading those and we get a lot out of those. So I think I'm going to stick with that. We will see. But I think that we will stick with that for our morning time. Science, I am thinking we'll just do through classical conversations. We'll see, like, because they'll be doing science projects and stuff. I might consider doing like a the Good and the Beautiful science unit or two, because they're just so simple and easy. I do have some Sunlight science, which I really like, but honestly, we haven't been able to get to it yet this year. And so there's that. Oh, and then Spanish. I want to do my Top Box Mom. That's long. You need a short sleeve shirt. Close the door. Go get a short sleeve shirt. For Spanish, I really want to use my Talk Box Mom box that I have. I really, really want to use that. So we'll definitely try that out. I'm thinking next year. I don't think we're going to have time for it this year. But in classical conversations, you do Latin, which I haven't totally bought in, is what I've noticed the term they've used when talking about Latin. To Latin, I wish they would just switch it for like Spanish. I just feel like it makes more sense. It's like a useful tool to have, to be able to speak to people in Spanish if you learn it. And yeah, so, but they do say if you learn Latin, it really helps with learning other languages like Spanish and French and stuff. So we'll see. I'm sure it's beneficial, and I get it. So we'll do the Latin, but I wish they would do Spanish. So we'll see about that. We're definitely not giving up on Spanish. We're going to use Talk Box Mom next year. So that's my thoughts on Spanish. And yeah, so that's my brainstorming. I've already talked for a really long time. That's my like brainstorming and just random ideas. I know classical conversations kind of took over this video, but I'm just really excited about it. But we will have tons of other curriculum outside of that we will be using. So those are just my thoughts. Please comment down below your thoughts on anything I said here. Definitely subscribe and click the bell to be notified when I post new videos, because I'm kind of sporadic when I post, so that will just let you know when I have a new video up. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because that just tells YouTube, oh, this is a video people like, and YouTube might suggest it to other people. So that's just a small way to help out my channel. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.